Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Everything Horror. I'm your host tonight, Tessa Baker, and I am joined by my co-host and my co-assistant. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so tonight's topic of discussion is a short film which Paul was in. That was done back in October of 2014, called Dead Static. It's a found footage horror anthology, and there are 3 stories to it. One's Emily's Bridge, another one is Green Mountain Cemetery, and the third is the Pittsford Haunted House. So our first story opens up with Emily's Bridge, which is set in Stowe, Vermont. And they did this back on March 8th of 2012. Emily and her lover, the story about this bridge is that Emily and her lover, they were supposed to meet at this bridge and run away together and, get married and live happily ever after. So it comes to the day or whatever that she's supposed to run off with her lover, and Emily shows up at the bridge, but her lover never shows. We don't exactly know the reason why he didn't show, what happened to him. So this broke Emily's heart. She figured that he abandoned her and that he wasn't coming. So it broke her heart, and instead of living on, she and finding someone new, she chose to end it all and take her life on the bridge. She hung herself from the beam using her clothes, I'm assuming, or whatever she could find. And I guess the folklore legend or whatever behind it is that if you park your car on her bridge and you turn it off, you won't be able to start it up again. And Emily is said to have a thing against men. She scratches or otherwise attacks men. I've seen this. Pictures of it.
Yep. Guilty.
She will, if you are either inside your car or outside of your car, it's said that you can hear her nails run down your vehicle. And I guess there's been some photographic, I don't know if this is necessarily true, it's probably maybe speculation, but she appears as mist. So first we'll talk about this one, and the characters in this one were Brett Wilbur and John Cundy. So what did you guys think about this story?
I'll let Crystal go first.
I thought it was really interesting. I like the mythology from it, like the story behind it. Because I don't really know a lot of the ghost stories from Vermont, so it was really cool to sit there and hear a new one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't hung myself over some dude. I'm sorry, but like I told Paul and Tessa before the podcast, I would have been like, "Fuck you, buddy. I'm going home and go outside, and I'm going to bed. Tired of your bullshit." So I'd have went home. I would have killed myself over some scrub. But I really liked it. I liked the imagery. I liked the scratch marks on the car. That was really interesting. And I did like how they portrayed Emily in the movie, the short film. The Jews acted pretty well. They actually did well with the acting. So I liked it. I liked the story behind it and just the whole portrayal of the story of what happened on that bridge.
Yeah, I mean, as a former person who used to do ghost hunts and stuff, Emily's Bridge was a spot where I went with my old paranormal group. and we went on a full moon, and it was sometime in July when we went. It was like July 12th or something like that when we went, and it was like 80-degree weather during that night. So, I mean, it wasn't chilly or anything, and, I mean, we got some really interesting stuff. Like, when we first got there, like, we got a couple snapshots of the infamous figure outside of the bridge standing on the right side, pointing what I believe was down the road, probably telling us that we need to get back in our car and start driving back where we came or something. I still have the image too. I've caught in some other stuff too where, like, at one point where I was kind of calling out Emily at one point. My buddy took a picture, and in the picture you can actually see a mist forming behind me, which I think that was when I was scratched. Which the weird thing is, at the time of this investigation, I didn't realize I was scratched until I actually got home. That was when the burning of, like, what seemed to be like an itchy back was really occurring, was when I got home. And sure enough, when I pulled up my shirt, I had, like, scratches on my back, and it almost looked like something or someone took, like, their two hands and kind of, like, dug all their fingers down my back to create, like, the scratches. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I still have the picture to prove it. So hopefully, if you guys are watching this on the video form, you'll see my scratches on the proof of Emily's work of what she can do. And another interesting thing that I will add to the experience that I had is that, like I told you, it was like 80-degree weather. So explain to me how not just me, but two other people in 80-degree weather can see their breath on the bridge. And we're talking 80-degree weather, and we can see our breath. Explain that one. But for the story-wise of how they portrayed Emily's Bridge, well, I liked it. Even though there is no record of anybody getting killed, so if anybody's wondering, no. Nobody have died from Emily's Bridge. And,
although, in the tale on Dead Static, what happened?
Yeah, they
both got killed.
Yeah. But, I just wanted to throw that out there. One thing I will say is that everything that you see in this film, when it comes to the death, is not true. It's
fictitious.
That's the only thing that is not real. Everything else, though, is pretty much true to real life experiences that people have reported of these actual haunted locations. I just wanted to throw that out there. And if you don't believe that these places are haunted, or even what we're going to be talking about in the next tale, you come up to Vermont and you go to these places and you try it. That's if you want to, and if you're daring to.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm daring to.
If you dare.
Yeah, if you dare.
I'll do it.
But
Consuela is scared of nothing.
Oh, jeez, she said that now. But yeah, I mean, in all reality of this short little film, I enjoyed what they did with Emily's Bridge. I thought they portrayed it very well. What about you, babe?
Yeah, I liked the story of Emily's Bridge. I thought it was pretty interesting. I had a feeling that the deaths were fictitious. That nobody's actually really died from experiencing Emily's Bridge we'll just say. So, yeah, I liked the first story.
Yep. And if anybody is also wondering, I believe the site is still up, but there is a guy that made a site dedicated to Emily's Bridge for people to share their experiences and photos. And if the site is still up, a couple of my photos that I submitted to this guy's site, or this female site, I don't really know who runs it, but they put up a couple photos of my captures from my experience. So if you want, go to emilysbridge.com, and hopefully you'll be able to see a couple of my photos on there.
Good. Alright, so we're going to move on to the second story, which is Green Mountain Cemetery, which is in Montpelier, Vermont. And this was done on August 4th, 2013. And this is the one where Katie, which is a friend of ours, was in this one. She was portraying Sarah, one of the paranormal investigators. So there's three paranormal investigators that go to
the Green Mountain Cemetery. One is actually a in training one.
Right. Amber.
Yeah, Amber.
Yep. And so they're going to Green Mountain Cemetery to check out the statue of Black Agus. A little bit of a backstory behind Black Agus. The statue is it's a statue that is a grave marker, I guess, or like a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Monument?
Yeah, a monument to marks the grave of John Aratus Hubbard, who was born in 1847 and died in 1899. He was a wealthy Montpelier businessman who pulled a fast one by thwarting his aunt's last will and testament, diverting her fortune to himself. So this guy was like a con man. What happened was there was a monument which Hubbard commissioned, and it's said to be a source of bad luck and even death for the person foolish enough to mess with it.
How many monuments is there?
There's 3. There's 3 of these statues, and these are all in different locations. One's in Montpelier, Vermont. Another one is in Chicago, and the third one is in Washington, D.C. This statue is said to cause horrific accidents, death, even miscarriages to women. Anybody who dares sit on this statue's lap or touch it in any way, it's just bad juju.
Just don't touch it.
Just don't touch it. It's risky even looking at it, in my opinion. There was a story of 3 teenagers who sat on Black Agnes's lap during a full moon, trying to prove to one another how brave they were. They were feeling secure as they drove home without incident, thinking that they had escaped the curse. A week later, one boy fell, seriously fracturing his leg. Another was a victim of a fiery car crash. The third drowned when his canoe overturned in a local river.
And the last one?
Yeah, that was all 3 of them.
Oh. No.
One seriously fractured his leg, another one died from a fiery car crash, and then the third one drowned.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
By his canoe flipping.
Tipping over onto him. Yep.
So.
And I'll say it again. So if you feel Brashley and Darren, okay.
At the grave of General Felix Agus in Druid Ridge Cemetery in Pikesville, Maryland, there's another Black Aggie. So in all actuality, there's 4. An urban legend says that the statue is haunted by a spirit of a mistreated wife who lies beneath its feet. It's reported that sometimes the statue's eyes glow red at midnight. As with the statue in D.C., it's said if you're pregnant and you sit on her lap, you will miscarry. Some say if you sit on her lap, the statue will come to life and crush you in their stony embrace. And don't speak Black Aggie's name 3 times at midnight in front of a dark mirror unless you want the evil angel to come to pull you down to hell. So,
if you're pretty much looking for the gateway to hell, that's the quickest way you're going to get there.
That's like the freaking Hell City train right there.
No kidding.
So that's a little bit of a backstory on the statue of Black Agus. So these three paranormal investigators go to Green Mountain Cemetery to check out Black Agus and the legend and all of that. And during their time up there, Amber starts to feel sick. And so Sarah and Marty are trying to bring Amber back to the car. And when they start to get back to the car, they notice that the passenger side door is open. And nobody remembers leaving the door open on the car. So immediately they start panicking, going, oh shit, well if it wasn't you, then who did it? And then, I guess Marty turns his back to Sarah and Amber, and then he turns around and they're gone. So Marty goes looking for Sarah and Amber and finds Amber kneeling in the grass off by herself, rocking back and forth and like having like these like convulsions or whatever, like she's possessed. And then Marty goes over to examine finding Sarah laying on the ground. And then she like comes lunging at his face and appears to be possessed, and apparently Marty ends up getting dismembered and his body's found in like a shallow grave. So that's the end of that one. So what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, it is cool to see the statue in there, even though what it took to get that shot is worth it, I guess. I mean, the people who were filming this film had to actually trespass to get the shot, but worth it. But the rest of the film, they actually did it at another cemetery because Green Mountain Cemetery at night is pretty heavily guarded by the police. So, due to vandalism and all that shit. So, yeah. That's pretty much why you only get to see so little of the statue or the monument. Otherwise, the story, you could say, kind of confused me, especially I can't even remember anymore what the EVP was even supposed to say, but I really think they should have at least added some type of subtitle of what we're supposed to be hearing in the EVP to help understand. But I think it had something to do with how everybody was possessed, though, is what you were supposed to hear. Is like Katie, or AKA Sarah, when she heard this was like the start of them becoming possessed.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping, I guess, to see, like, I don't know. More, yeah. I mean, I know, like, due to, like, the lore of the statue that nobody's gonna, actually go up and sit on it, and take that chance. So they had to come up with some kind of a story, I guess, to base around it. I mean, I don't know if that's what they were doing.
Well, think they were trying to do something along the lines of like an ancient burial ground of where Green Mountain Cemetery was. I think that was the idea of it. So, but once again, maybe one day we can get that clarified when Katie comes onto the podcast at a later date. But, Christo, what are your thoughts on the second tale?
No, honestly, this was my least favorite. Like, I mean, it confused me. Like, I couldn't hear the EVP at all. I mean, so I had no idea what was going on with the EVP. And as far as like the Black Agnes, like I really thought like that was what the story was going to be around. Because I mean, they go to it, they start talking about it, and then Amber starts to feel sick. So I was like, okay, well maybe it's got something to do with the Black Agnes statue. Because I mean, you guys have told me the myth about the Black Agnes statue. So I was like, she didn't sit on it, but I mean, could it possibly be around it's making her ill? So, you know, that's what I thought was at first. And then they go back to the car and then they start getting possessed. I was like, what the hell is happening? I go, it jumped from the Black Agnes to whatever's going on with them now. And it had no coercion to me as a film. I mean, I liked seeing the Black Agnes. That was really cool. But the whole story just lacked connection for me.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what I thought about it. I mean, the coolest part about that was seeing Black Agnes on the screen. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But the whole story was just, it was lost in translation, I guess. So, I mean, that's about all I really have on that one. Because I really did not care for that one.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the second one was probably my least favorite. I wish they could have done more with the story of Black Agnes, but I guess due to superstition or whatnot, they didn't dare to, which is understandable.
I mean, we do have 3 recorded incidents, so just think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want no one sitting on it or nothing. I just, I'd rather you not die shooting a film because you want to get that shot. I'm good.
Yeah, definitely not. What I thought was cool about it was, like you said, seeing the Black Agnes statue, and I guess the other thing was seeing one of our friends, Katie, acting in it. I thought she did pretty well.
Speaking of which, what do you guys think of her face? when her face comes to the camera and it's not her face?
Yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, that does not look like her.
That is not her at all.
Right.
Something is very wrong.
No, I agree.
Okay, so our third and last story that we're going to talk about is the one that Paul is actually in. And Paul is playing as Chad Williams, the cameraman. And
we already know what happened to people in found footage films who are cameramen.
Yeah, they all meet an untimely
demise.
Nope.
See Blair Witch for more details.
And he's also joined by the reporter in this one, Mia Jones.
Who was also the actress of Emily in Emily's Bridge.
Yep, and she did very well in that one too. I also kind of want to mention, I also noticed in this one, another one of our friends was in it, but she's maybe in it briefly for maybe 5 minutes, and then that was it, and that was Allison.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Katie's daughter is played in it too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was Katie's daughter.
Oh.
Yep.
Very
cool.
little
girl?
That little girl.
Oh.
Oh, that's
she did
so
good.
cool. Yeah, she did good.
Yep. Oh yeah, she loved horror. She liked to act and stuff, so she rocked
that role.
Yeah, she definitely liked the creepy idea of her, so she pulled it off very well.
Alright, so our third story is called The Pittsford Haunted House. And it's obviously stationed in Pittsford, Vermont. This was done October 18th in 2014. reporter Mia, and cameraman Chad, aka Paul, from Haunted Vermont, go to investigate the Pittsford Haunted House, which used to be once considered the children's hospital or clinic for tuberculosis, to see if some of the children who died there still lingered there in spirit.
Which, that's based on real facts, by the way. For people listening, it used to be a hospital.
Yeah,
for like what Tessa just said.
Yeah.
Yep. I just wanted to I want to separate the truth from the fakes. So.
Annie, who was one of the nurses there, who once worked there, fell down the stairs and she died. And supposedly she still haunts the place. So Mia and Chad plan to meet with Harley, who's one of the people that works at the Pittsford Haunted House, at noon the next day to get a tour of the restricted access floor, where nobody's said to be really allowed to go. It's usually closed off, and you have to special request it to even get up there. I guess a few people have ventured up there out of curiosity, just to satisfy their curiosity. So, Mia and Chad arrive, and they're unable to find Harley, but they see a van parked in the driveway. They're not sure if it's his, whatnot. So, they proceed to go inside the building, and it appears to be, for lack of a better word, abandoned. Nobody's there. No signs of life anywhere. So, they proceed to the second floor to go to explore without him, because they don't know where Harley is. And as they're up there, they begin to hear noises or footsteps, etc. And then they hear a loud thud or bang like a body hitting the floor. So they try to leave, and the door is stuck and they can't get it open. And they see Harley down at the end of the hallway, lying on the floor. And then the little girl, which is Katie's daughter, shows up in white, hovering over Harley's body. And as the little girl starts to approach Mia and Chad, Harley's body is dragged off in the background behind her by something else. We don't know what it is. We don't see what it is. We just see Harley's body being pulled out of the room as the little girl's approaching Chad and Mia. So, and all you see as the little girl gets closer is her eyes go white. And then something happens to Chad, aka Paul, and he ends up on the floor.
Getting flung back.
Flung backwards and ends up on the floor, badly hurt. Mia tries to call for help, and it is interrupted by the spirit, and it's choking her, and she ends up dropping to the ground, supposedly killing, quotation marks, both of them. No one knows for certain where their body, what happened to them. Their bodies were never recovered, along with Harley Kane.
Nope, but you got to hear the little girl giggle at the end.
Little girl's giggle, yeah. That was creepy. Very well done, though.
So was that her giggling too? Was that her that did?
I believe so.
Okay, that's really well done. Kudos to the little girl. Kudos.
So, Crystal, let me start with you. What did you think of that tale?
I actually like that one. Especially because even down here in Louisiana, we have haunted houses that used to be older buildings that were hospitals, or we actually have one down here that's a haunted house that used to be out in a mortuary. And it's actually called the mortuary. That's a haunted house, and it's actually haunted. So it's really cool to see that other places do that too. And I really like the story about the nurse. And the little girl. And I actually like the live interviews of I guess the patrons going to the haunted house and asking them about, have you ever had any ghostly encounters? Going to the haunted house and talking to the workers, have you ever experienced anything? I really like that.
Yeah, they
And
invited us to actually be there. So
that's actually cool.
yeah, we had to show up right before they started the haunt, so that way we could like get ready, do the sound test and stuff. And yeah, I got to meet a lot of people there. And of course, everybody knew what we were going to be there for, so it was actually really cool. And those interviews are real. I mean, we didn't write anything down on paper for them to say. That was what they have either witnessed or heard or whatever. So that was all them. It wasn't the writers or me telling them what to do or say. So what you
So
hear,
is Harley actually an actor there?
Harley was an actor. Yes.
So he don't actually work at the haunted house.
Right. No.
Okay. So I thought maybe he was an actor at the haunted house and he did this with you guys.
No, it was just Harley was the only actor for the interview. But what he mentioned about that window, though, about that window on the second story or second floor of the place, that is actually based on real recordings, though. Like, that's what people have witnessed, is like a little girl's face up in the window of that place. So that was the only pretty much real thing about what Harley said in that interview.
Okay. Because I was like, oh, okay, so maybe he did both. Maybe he volunteered to be in the film too, but he also works at the haunted house. So okay.
Yep.
But other than that, I gotta give kudos to that little girl. That little girl was spot on.
She was
she
a
could
trooper. She was definitely a trooper that day when it came to filming her stuff. It was, we had like an idea at first where she was actually going to appear outside first, where like me and Mia were going to look out the window and we were going to actually see her outside. And it got to the point where she would get in too cold where we couldn't do it. So, because she needed to get warmed up and stuff. But we just figured we weren't going to do it. But the idea of that was going to be, we wanted to look through and show the ghost of the little girl outside, because we were going to be looking through the actual window where people have witnessed the little girl looking down. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what you get the final outcome went really well. Like her being down the hallway by the window and then like her coming towards y'all. That's classic horror movie, and I approve 100%.
And
that was really fun.
And when Harley was getting dragged away, when he was quote unquote dead on the floor, I actually suggested that because the little I forget Katie's daughter's name, but she kind of kept tripping over the guy's arm or hand or something, or she had to like be careful where she was walking, because the idea was, as you saw in the film, her head was supposed to be staring down at the floor until she lifted up her head and see the white eyes when I go flying backward. But pretty much the idea of that would just be like, there's got to be something in the house to make the body like disappear. So you figure if there's something in the house that's dragging the bodies away, that's why probably the bodies can't be found. So so
was that Harley's body being drugged? That noise y'all kept hearing, was that his body being drugged?
Being dragged?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know y'all kept hearing the noise, so I was like, Harley's body was in the back of the end of that hallway, so I was like, was that his body y'all kept hearing being drugged across the ground that made y'all go look for that sound, or what?
Yep, and then there's another one where when we're looking at the ceiling, you're supposed to hear like little child footsteps. So when we're like staring up at the ceiling, like, do you hear that? and we're like trying to follow the noise by looking at the ceiling right before the door slammed. That was supposed to be us following the like the little kid footsteps.
Okay.
But yeah, I did suggest that Harley get dragged slowly into the other room. So if you do pay attention, you can kind of see Harley's body get dragged away.
I give it 2 thumbs up. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was in it, so I didn't mind filming it. I enjoyed it, but I can't really say too much about it because I was in it. So, I mean, I liked it. I thought I didn't do too bad for my first ever acting, I guess. I don't know.
You didn't. You acted a lot better than many people have in their first movies, or short films. So I give you an A++.
Yay! I feel so special. Yay!
Consuela gives you a gold star. Good job.
So, I overall enjoyed the Dead Static short film anthology. And I'm not just saying this because my boyfriend was in the third one, but I did enjoy the Pittsford Haunted House because I just liked all the elements that were used in it. I like how well Katie's daughter did, and just like the whole like eerie atmosphere. And I've always found houses, I guess, to be more creepier. And I guess it's more because it's like more of like a sense of like being closed off and isolated and everything, and it's just
where we were is actually really closed off for the public.
Yeah.
Like, you need special permission to go up there.
Yeah, which I mentioned in before.
Yeah.
But I would have to say that the third one was probably my favorite. And then Emily's Bridge.
And then Green Mountain Cemetery.
And then Green Mountain Cemetery. That would be the order I would go. What about you, Crystal?
I have to agree with you, and not just because Paula is in the third one. Out of all of them, the third one was, like, to me, the most well done. Like, it was the most creepiest, like, because, like I said, I mean, it's a sense of familiarity. There you go.
You're welcome.
So I really enjoy, like, especially, and I'm a big haunted house fanatic. So, like, I like fake haunted houses, and I like fake haunted houses that are made in real haunted houses. So I really liked it. And like I said, Katie's daughter, oh my God, like that little girl, I'm telling you, she made that right there. She made it her own. She rocked that.
She needs to be in horror films.
She really does. She could, if they ever made Children of the Corn again, she could be one of the Children of the Corn.
Yeah, so Katie, if you do end up like listening to this episode, big shout out to your little girl, and you did great too. But yeah, you should put your little girl in horror films. More, definitely.
She definitely belongs in the horror community.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like Emily's Bridge. Emily's Bridge is my second one, and I know you also from Katie's in the Green Mountain Cemetery.
Green Mount.
Yeah.
Green Mount, but I'm sorry, Katie. That one was just I just did not like as much as the other two. You did good, but it was not cohesive as the other two. And Paul did good as Mr. Cameraman. And
poor Mr. Cameraman, Chad, oof, got his ass thrown.
Thank God.
Flung like a rag
What are you
doll.
talking about? I wasn't Chad. I don't know what you're talking about. I feel bad for the Chad person.
You got flung by a little girl.
Man, got flung and everything. Jeez, yeah, that was a fun little day of recording. Oh God, we had to use like bed frames and pillows for that, and like because of me being tall and the doors are like really short, I felt like I was gonna smash my head off the door frame if I were to jump back. So, like, there was talk of getting me, like, a football helmet so I wouldn't, like, bash my head on the door frame. But then the director, the guy who wrote and directed it ended up doing it for me. The only thing I just had to do was just make the sound effect of me getting, like, the wind knocked out of me. But, yeah, I mean, that alone took, like, 20 takes because he needed to land in that way where when you saw the camera, well, when you see me get flung back and then the camera goes to the left and then, like, that was the idea. But the way he was doing it is he was making sure that where he landed, he would remember where it landed. So that way when the camera turned on its own from AKA the spirit, the little girl, to watch Chad and Mia die, pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah, that was fun. That was a fun day too, faking my death.
And your friend who played as Mia, she did really well too.
Yeah.
She's very engaging.
Yeah. She's very nice. She was very awesome to work with. She was very easy to work with too. I mean, she was even asking me like, I think I'm doing this wrong. You think I'm like not putting out enough? And I'll be like, oh, you're fine. I don't think I'm putting out enough, but whatever. I mean, well,
she did real good.
Well, the thing was too is that like the guy told us when we started going into the house and all the way up to the place, he pretty much just gave us full freedom to like do whatever, but he wanted me to add that joke about Harley and then zoom in on the clown. Like, there's Harley, and then I zoomed in.
Oh, yeah, there's Harley.
Yeah, there's Harley, and I zoomed in on the clown. Yeah, he wanted me to add that at least, so I did. But, yeah, I mean, I think you would like it anyway, Crystal. I don't know if you caught on, but we went through, I'm pretty sure, the Freddy Krueger nightmare torture thing. You should have caught on to that one. And then,
I saw that.
And then I don't remember if we did go through it. I can't remember. I think we did, but we were also crossing the quote unquote bridge where Jason would be to come out to play. Because they have like a little Jason room and Freddy room kind of thing that they've done. So yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it was still though. I mean, it was fun. It really got to the point, too, where we all were hanging out in the building too long, where I think the building was starting to get comfortable with us. And what I mean by that is it started to make real-life noises. And, hi, Crystal Doggy.
Alarms, I'm sorry.
Pip, pip.
But, yeah, I mean, like, I still swear, like, at one point when I had to go into the house myself, when I went up the stairs and when I turned back, I still swear that I saw little kid feet and just forming on the top of the stairs at one point, and I don't remember what the shoes are called, so maybe you guys might need to verify what type of shoes these are, but what are the shoes that little kids used to wear where they didn't tie, but they like, they kind of like, oh man, what do I want to call it? Huh?
Penny loafers.
Maybe, like, it kind of had like a Velcro thing. Maybe. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Velcro.
It was like velvet? Velcro?
What?
The old shoes that kids used to wear, like...
Oh, yeah. It's like Velcro
Yeah,
straps.
like, I'll never forget, well, to say Velcro, but I'll never forget where I swear I saw two little kid feet that were wearing Velcro-shaped shoes. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna walk back outside. And then when we were actually filming the death scenes, we were late there. We were staying up late there to the point where, like, the little night lights upstairs had to come on, and we all heard some type of noise. We don't know if it was like a little child giggling or running or something, but we all heard the same noise of whatever it was. And we're just like, man, I think this house is starting to warm up to us because it's coming alive, I think. So, yeah.
I just wanted to play, that's all.
Exactly. She just wanted to play. But that's all I got to take about my experience, besides the fact that Allison was doing a good job helping with taking photographs for us for the behind the scenes and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah. But, yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to add or talk about?
I just had to say I definitely enjoy it, and unfortunately I live too far down south, but if you do live close to these areas, I would definitely go check them out. If I live closer, I'd go check them out. So go check them out. Just don't sit on Black Agnes. I don't want to be responsible for your death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah.
If you go sit on the lap of that statue and monument, be my guest.
Yeah,
but
you're asking for it.
You're gonna do it
at your own risk. That's
yeah, you do it at your own risk. We do not recommend it.
We do not proclaim any claims against filed on any type of us telling you that we dared this person to do it or we told them to do it. No. We're just saying, if you want to go test your almighty toughness, and
go for it.
Yeah, go for it. Otherwise, you can be like me and put the tail between your legs and not do it, because I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
I'm a big old chicken shit, and
I don't have a death wish, so count me out on that as well.
Maybe if I was dying, then maybe I would test the theory out, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not pregnant. I can't get pregnant, so yeah. That would be wrong anyway, so just don't listen to that.
I was like, where did this come from dying to pregnant? I was like, this just went from two different conversations.
I gotta put in some comedy in here, damn it.
So pretty.
Just because you're pregnant, you're not dying.
So
Right.
pretty much. The day I get pregnant or whatever, he's keeping me far, far, far away from that statue. At all
we
costs.
don't have to worry about that.
Because I don't want to go anywhere near it.
Montpelier's not even like an hour away, so yeah, or so. So yeah. Maybe one day I'll go take one picture of it, but that's it.
Yeah, you better make sure it's like one of those instances where you can actually take a picture of it and you're not going to get consequences for it, like Robert the doll.
Which will probably be another episode at some point, maybe. I think we might need Robert's permission though.
Yeah.
Because we don't need that coming back at us either.
Yeah, no bad juju.
Nope.
No bueno.
Which, if you
No
bueno. And if you don't know who Robert is, look up Robert on Facebook.
Yeah, Robert the doll.
Yep. And if you don't believe that anything bad can happen to you with that either,
you go test the theory if you feel antsy.
Go to Florida, and if you're in Florida, go to where Robert the doll is, and if you take a picture without Robert's permission,
I guess you'll learn the hard way.
You'll learn the hard way, and you'll be writing Robert the doll an apology letter, just like everybody else has.
But you can always bring him some candy, and you will be dandy.
Let's hope that he is down and dandy with candy.
Apparently, if you bring him peppermints or something, he's supposed to allow you to take his picture. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have
candy or like treats and stuff like that. That's one of the things they say. If you bring him like candies or something like that, he's okay with you.
Oh yeah, bring him offerings.
We'll bring him like gallons of candy then. That way we can be just like, here's all this for you. Don't do anything to us, please. And
I bought all this from the dollar store and didn't eat not a piece of it. It's all for you.
didn't even eat anything from this, and this is all for you.
I would just give him the unsealed bag of candy to set it down there. There you go.
Yeah,
fresh, unopened bag of candy, just for you, sport.
Yeah, I can already see it now. What are you buying these $10? What are you buying $10 worth of candy for? Oh, this doll for a thank you.
This doll I want to take a picture of.
This doll I want to take a picture of. But yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I think I've told you guys enough, I think, of some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, unless I missed anything that you guys were curious about. Were you guys curious about anything else that I probably didn't mention about behind the scenes? No? Yes? Was there anything else?
I think you covered everything that I wanted to know.
Yeah. I'm all set.
Alrighty. Well, just once again, you guys can find Everything Horror at everythinghorror.podbean.com. All the links are there. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, then I don't know how the hell you're listening to this unless you're on YouTube, which we're on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at EHPODCASTS. And that is EH Podcast.
And we're also on iTunes as well.
Yes. So make sure you go and subscribe for free and you rate us.
Please.
And we will maybe give you a bag of candy. Fire! I hear fire.
I'm sorry, I'm catching my house on fire now.
At least we're not the only ones.
My PSN is redqueen_85. My Twitch is the same. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. So yeah, that's where you can find me. How about you, Crystal?
You can find me at many places. Some places you may not want to find me, but the ones that are family friendly or twitch.tv, Cristillo_Labello. You can find me at Twitter at Cristillo Games. And you can also find me on Facebook at Cristillo Twitch TV. Oh, also PSN, Eerie Cutie.
And I haven't said one of these in a while, and I don't think I've ever said anything about this, but if I have, well, here we go again. So you can also find Everything Horror on Twitch as well at EH Podcast, and that is EHPODCASTS. Thank you. Also, I definitely know I haven't said this in a while. Well, all of us haven't said it in a while. And we have a charity going on right now for a year, and it ends next year in June. And it is called Smarter Than the Killer.
And it's for Foundation One Up on Cancer.
Yeah, that's right. So if you feel like you want to donate for a good cause, then head on over to that.
And $1 goes a long way.
Yes, $1 can go a long way to paying somebody's hospital bill who is fighting cancer.
And if you don't think someone doesn't donate dollars, we do have dollar donations on there. It doesn't matter if the dollar or not, it's the fact that you donated. And if you donate, share the link and spread the love. Even word of mouth helps a lot of people.
Yep. And for those listening, you can go to that is bit.ly/smarterthankiller. Again, bit.ly/smarterthankiller. Yeah. Even the Crystal Dog said, go do it. Go donate.
Pup.
She demands to do it right now. The pup demands it.
The pup has spoken. $1 can go for a doggy treat. So do it.
Just 99 cents a day. You can give this pup a snack that she deserves.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you keep pups happy. And yeah.
Other than that, thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned for another episode of Everything Horror. And hope you guys have a good night. And like we always like to say here at Everything Horror, stay scary.
Stay scary. Whoa.